Here we go. Here we go. All right. So as you're coming in, a huge favor, if you wouldn't mind, letting me know where you're from. I would love to. I'd love to get that intel because I'm considering changing the time that we're doing this. So if you have a time preference, then let me know in the comment section and also where you're coming from, because I'd like to accommodate as many people as possible. Now, we do have a good amount of folks that join us on the live stream, so I do appreciate that. But at the same time, I want to make sure that we're going live whenever the most amount of you are here. And let's see, this is probably a little bit better. Let me know if this microphone is going to work right there. All right, so again, so just let me know in the comment section where you're listening from. It's going to really help out as we adjust a few things here and there. We've been going live Mondays and Fridays, so that's a pattern that I'll continue doing for a little while before we scale up and do it every single day. But then again, what's really important for me is understanding when you're on so we can make the most of our time together. So DC, awesome, I love it. Welcome, welcome. All right, so today we're going to talk about Google. We're going to talk about Google because it is super important and it's something that we don't want to overlook. So Google for Realtors, but not only are we going to talk about Google, but we're going to talk about the top mistakes that are happening on Google, which by addressing the mistakes, we're actually going to go and focus on what you should be doing. So it's kind of like a twofer. Instead of sharing with you, hey, what to do, if you will, which there are several videos on this channel that talk about that, we're talking about the top mistakes that real estate agents are doing right now on Google, so then you can learn the counterpoint. So you can actually learn what is the right thing to do so you can grow your business organically and on a paid way. So again, as a reminder, if you're coming in, let me know where you're coming from, what time you would love for us to go live moving forward, and also if you have any questions, I'd love to field those. So today, again, we're talking about Google, and I don't want to give anything, I don't want to take anything for granted, but so I'm just going to go straight into the why we're even talking about Google. Well, Google, everybody has heard about it, obviously, but also understand that Google is still one of the most, it is the most popular website right now. So when people go to get answers or when people go online, they're going to go to Google before they ultimately go to their destination. So we understand that it's the number one website right now, followed by YouTube, which is owned by Google. So Google has a stranglehold on your life. So those are the two most powerful search engines around. And speaking about the Google search engine, it's about 90% of the search traffic that is managed by Google. So it's not, and it's continuing to increase. Yahoo is nowhere close. DuckDuckGo is nowhere close. And any other search engines that you can think of, they are nowhere close. Google has a stranglehold on the entire search platform. So at this point, hey, good morning, Warren. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. So at this point, Google has, it's by far the number one platform. As I mentioned, I think right now, technically it's about 86%, but so close to 90 that by the end of the year, I'm sure it's going to get there. So we know that Google is everywhere, and also it's the default search engine for a lot of the phones that you buy. And as you know, with your phones, that's where you're seeing a lot of the traffic be generated from. So that's something that is just going to continue to increase. So it's nothing new. So for our time together, again, we're talking about Google for Realtors and the top mistakes that are happening right now in real estate in regards to Google. For our time together, we're actually going to break things up. We're going to talk about the free mistakes, so things that are costing you $0 to employ, and what you're doing, what you should be doing right now from the free standpoint when it comes to Google. But also we're going to approach the paid stuff. So if you're running some Google ads, then you're absolutely going to want to listen in. If you're not running Google ads, then the first part of this live stream is going to be very tangible and very valuable for you. So make sure that you're around for that. All right. So if you have any questions, please make sure to drop them down in the chat. I'll be good at monitoring them. We have a short time together. So with that being said, the absolute first mistake that is happening right now on a mass scale is your website. A lot of folks don't have a website. A lot of you real estate agents do not have a website, and that is a huge mistake. the website right now is the cost of doing business. When people are searching for you, whether you give them a business card, whether it's your family, friends, or whatever, they are looking for you. So if you do not have a website right now, you are extremely behind. You're in 2010s territory, so we're going to need you to get up to this decade at least, because you are far behind if you don't have a website. It is pivotal that you do. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have a website, or even if you do have a website, you may be thinking, well, there's different providers out there. Where do I start? Where do I begin? The most important thing in Google's eyes is being found. Now, there's really three primary ways to get a website or to have your website. There's really three primary ways. One is more of the traditional way. One is the the bulk of that website is the WordPress website. So it's WordPress was around long before all the other providers that you think about. And WordPress is really the standard at this point. So if you're looking to rank on on Google, then WordPress is still your best route. That is the absolute best way to rank, so to index on search. So whenever somebody types in your name or real estate agent in a certain city or in a certain area, WordPress is still the winner. Now, there are some other providers out there. There are other website builders like Squarespace, like Wix, those types of companies. Those are more for your static companies. Those are phenomenal designs. Those are phenomenal layouts. So those are a great place if you don't want to have if you don't have much technical skills, or don't want to have many technical skills and don't want to do the WordPress, then I highly encourage you to check out Squarespace or Wix, and everything will be linked down below so you can check that out. But Squarespace and Wix, those are your builders. Those will rank, but not as much as WordPress. So the design is just fantastic. So it's absolutely something that you want to check out. Now, the other type of builder that you can do is a landing page builder. Now, these are going to be very hard for you to index on. These are going to be very hard for you to be found on search unless you're driving a lot of traffic to them. So your landing page builders are your ClickFunnels of the world, the lead pages of the world, the Builderalls of the world. These are more designed for paid traffic. These are not necessarily designed for free organic traffic, which is what we're talking about right here. So if you're looking to build your website and you really don't have a inkling of where to go, I really at this point encourage you to stick with WordPress. If you don't want to get into that technical aspect of it, then pay somebody to do it. So at this point, actually, I worked backwards. I started from the landing pages first, and then I went to Squarespace, and then I went to WordPress. So WordPress right now, that is my long-term strategy. That has my domain, JaimeResendiz.com. And in fact, right now, I hired somebody to redo my entire website because it needs it badly. So if you need any suggestions on who to use, then just let me know. But it's coming along quite nicely. So it's something that I will be proud. I'm not proud of my website right now. If you were to go to JaimeResendiz.com right now, it's not impressive. It's actually incomplete, but talk to me in 2 weeks. It's going to look phenomenal. So that's something that you need to take into consideration. If you don't have a website, then you absolutely need one. But also make sure that you understand where you're building from. So the structure that you're building, because that's important. Now, also, don't forget about installing your Facebook pixel. You absolutely need it for in the future. If you decide to run some paid ads, whether that's through Facebook, Google, whatever, you want to make sure that you're positioned to do so. So that's number one mistake. Your website is just not where it needs to be. You absolutely want to have one. Now, second mistake is Google My Business. You don't have one. So if you don't have a Google My Business or haven't claimed your Google My Business, which is a free way for you to index on Google, provided by Google, so it's Google's own product, why wouldn't they give you preferential treatment? Very much like Google owns YouTube, it gives YouTube preferential treatment over Vimeo, over Dailymotion, over BitChute, over every other alternative to YouTube video host. That's what Google is giving you right now with Google My Business. And a lot of you right now do not have the Google My Business business page that you have access to, that profile that you have access to for free, many of you don't have it activated. All you have to do is go to Google My Business and claim your business. It's there for you. You're going to input a little bit of information like your hours of operation, your email, your website, your phone number, basic information that you already know and you already have. All you have to do is go and claim Google My Business. They will send you a pin to your business location, and then within a week or so, you're online with Google My Business. Again, it's a free way to index on search, and it's a free way to index on Google Maps. So whenever somebody types in Tampa Bay real estate agent, not only do you index on the search side, but you also index on the Google My Business map. So let me rephrase that, on the map feature. So you are indexing for absolutely free, and it's courtesy of Google My Business. So this is something that a lot of people don't know, but Google is trying to get onto the social media world as much as possible. So they're adding different features to Google My Business every single day. Now, we all know about their previous failure with Google Plus, how they shut that down abruptly about 2 years ago, but now it is it's using Google My Business as its platform to get a little bit more social, because there's a community tab there, and you're adding pictures, you're adding videos, you're adding more about your business. So it's more like a little bit of a Facebook meets LinkedIn meets Google, little crossbreed going on right there. So it's a fantastic way to rank and search. All right, so let's see. So we have Facebook DC. So we have Warren. Good morning. Good morning. I appreciate you. Nick, what would be your top place to build a landing page? I used to be a big proponent of ClickFunnels. I am no longer a big proponent of ClickFunnels. So I'll probably make a video down the road about why that is. But at this point, I'm not building my business on ClickFunnels any longer. I am using, for my courses, I'm using Thinkific, and I'll link it down below so you have the discount codes on everything that I'm talking about. Thinkific, that's where I'm building my courses. So all the courses, Facebook ads, Google ads, my private courses for the real estate agents that partner with me at EXP. So all of my training will be on Thinkific. So, because there's just so much for all of the agents. That's where I'm going to do that. And then as far as sales pages, I'm going to do a crossbreed of WordPress and Builderall. So Builderall, Builderall. I'll link it down below. But at this point, I'm moving away from the ClickFunnels mafia is basically what I'm saying. Let's see what else. Would you recommend making a landing page solely for your listings? If you have a powerful CRM like KV Core as an example, Nick, absolutely. It's called a single property website. With KV Core, you're able to create a single property website with one click. It really is that simple. You just create it with one click and you're off and running. So yeah, I would encourage you to create one if it's that simple. So on KV Core, it's called a squeeze page instead of a landing page. But at the end of the day, if you can do that with very minimal effort, absolutely, I highly encourage it. But if you have to go out of your way and build landing pages, unless it's a luxury market type of a property, then I wouldn't go through that effort, to be honest with you. Alrighty, so Google My Business, absolutely claim yours. It's free. It's there for you to use. Please take advantage of it. Now, the next mistake I'm seeing a lot of is one that I fall victim to. It's reputation management. Now, it can be said different ways, but basically it comes down to when you Google yourself, what comes up. It could be bad reviews. It could be great reviews. It could be some business that you were in whatever you were doing prior to being in real estate. This is what I mean by reputation management. And again, this is something that I fall victim to because right now, if you type in my name, Jaime Resendiz, it's not really all that common. So at this point, with all the content that I have out there, with all of the a lot of the information that I have out there, I should be indexing for my own website, but I don't. So right now, if you type that in, you're going to see a lot of YouTube results. You're going to see probably a little bit of LinkedIn, maybe a little bit of Zillow and Trulia because of my real estate activity. But outside of that, I really don't have what I need up there, which is my website. So JaimeResendiz.com. That's why I'm going through all of this rebranding. That's why I'm going through all of this rebuilding for my own personal name and brand, because I need my own domain to index at the very top. So if you type that in, JaimeResendiz.com, I don't do that. I don't do that. So very much the same thing for you. Google yourself and see what's out there. See if you're indexing for something that you did 5 years ago. See if you're indexing for bad reviews. And of course, you absolutely want to get rid of those by flooding with good reviews. So whatever it happens to be, do some reputation management, Google yourself. And one of the best ways for you to start indexing to the message that you want is by creating a YouTube video introducing yourself, and on the title, putting your name, putting your email, and putting your phone number, either your business email, your business phone number, however you want to be contacted. So when those keywords, so when your name gets searched, that video shows up at the top. When your email gets searched, that email goes up to the top. Whenever your phone number gets searched, that goes to the top. And the reason you want that is because, especially on the phone, is because whenever you're calling your leads, they're not going to answer. And then they're going to copy and paste your phone number on their search website on Google. And that's when you want your video to show up. So that's why you're doing it that way. So again, that's just a little pro tip. Do an intro video about yourself, about about your business, what you're in. So when people search for your name, your email, and your phone number, you show up. So that is just a little pro tip. That's something that if you want to change the narrative on your own business, on your own name, on your own email, or your own phone number, that's a great way for you to do that. So it's something to consider. Again, reputation management, super important. A lot of folks are not doing that. I'm not perfect. I certainly fall victim to that, so I fully acknowledge that. But as you know, with this channel, I like to share as I'm learning. I like to share the things that I'm doing well and the things that I'm not doing as well. And this is one of those things that I'm not doing as well on. So we can work on this together. All right, so let's switch up to the paid strategies. We talked a little bit about free. So we talked about your website. We talked about Google My Business. We talked about your reputation management. So how we can correct those and what we're doing wrong with them. But now let's switch over to the paid strategies. And right off the bat, your Google tag. Your Google tag is something that I actually went ahead and paired it with your Google Analytics. So I didn't share that here, but make sure that you have your Google Analytics turned on and your Google tag turned on. But since we're talking about the paid strategies, we're going to focus on Google tag. Your Google tag is a piece of code very similar to your Facebook pixel that you can install on your website. So with your website, you get all of the traffic of the people that are going to your website. So this way you're able to retarget them in the future. So with this Google tag, you install it on your website, and then you're able to remarket to them with Google ads and YouTube ads into the future. So make sure that you've installed your Google tag. As of this recording, just know that as of this recording, if you're trying to retarget based off of Google tag alone, Google ads does have a barrier to entry. You have to spend a certain amount of money in order to use this feature of retargeting. But as you continue advertising, of course, you're going to meet that requirement that you have to spend a certain amount of money. So forget what it is, because it's been a minute since I've breached it. I believe it's $50,000 that you have to spend. I could be wrong. If it's not 50, it's 30. But I should have probably researched that. Again, for me, it's not an issue, but it's going to bother me. So just understand that there's that limitation. There's that barrier to entry. So just be aware of that. All right, so install your Google tag. That is absolutely pivotal. You want to be able to retarget down in with time. You want to be able to retarget your own audience, because you don't want to continue marketing to people that are a cold audience. That's a good way for you to spend a lot of money without seeing that much return. So that's something extremely important if you're doing paid advertising, because at the end of the day, you want your ads to get less expensive. That's what we're after, right? And then the next mistake that I'm seeing quite a bit is it's not doing enough research with your keywords. So the keyword planner is a fantastic tool that should be leveraged not only for Google, but also for your YouTube videos if you're doing that. Also for your blog, so you can anytime you want to see what the traffic is for a certain keyword or key phrase, go to Google Planner, because that's actually what gives you the information. So Google itself is telling you, hey, this is how many times this particular keyword or key phrase is being searched. And you can select just the United States. You can select just the state that you're in. You can select a certain area. Google gives you this data so you can use it for your efforts. So here we're talking about the paid strategy. So this means that with your paid strategy, you want to know what people are searching for. So your ads have a good chance of running, because if you run Google ads in the past, you'll probably have noticed that your ads are not running because there's just not enough search volume. So that's why using Google My Planner, you're able to find what the traffic is for the keywords that you're targeting and if it's even worth marketing to them. And also, again, I don't only just use it for the Google ads, but I use it for the blog. I use it for the web, the YouTube videos. So it dictates, hey, there's actual traffic here. People actually want to know this answer. There's 5,000 people searching this particular question every single month. So I want that information. So Google My Planner is a fantastic way to identify not only the search volume, but you also see the competition and how much it actually costs. So you get to see, hey, if I spend X amount of dollars, I'm probably going to get X amount of clicks. So you start getting some details and information before you ever spend a dime. So this research ahead of time is going to help you out. So Google My Planner is fantastic. All right, so let's see. A few questions here. When are we going to be doing a collaboration? Nick, I don't know. What planner is different from the planner is different from YouTube Buddy? Yes, so YouTube Buddy gets a portion of its information. Great question. So TubeBuddy, here we go. TubeBuddy gets its information, a portion of its information from the keyword planner. So TubeBuddy in and of itself is not the tool that is getting all this data. It's going over to this data. It's collecting the data from the keyword planner and pulling it into its system. So in other words, TubeBuddy needs the keyword planner. The keyword planner does not need TubeBuddy. So there you go. All right. So is Google Planner and so let's go. So is Google Planner an alternative for TubeBuddy or vidIQ? Yes, it can be. It can be. If you're looking solely for the competition, if you're looking for the search traffic, yeah, it can be. Now, I don't personally use it that way because TubeBuddy gives me a feature I really like, and it's only on the premium or their highest paid tier. With TubeBuddy, I get to do some A/B split testing, so that really helps me out with my content creation. And since I do a video per day, it really makes sense for me to have it. So that's something that I absolutely need in my world. So let's see. Usually Zillow ranks at the top of Google searches on individual agents or listings. How do you beat Zillow on the algorithm? So as I mentioned, so that's a great question, Nick. As I mentioned, Google, going back for a quick second, Google My Business places you above the Zillows. It places you above that because if you notice, whenever you type in something, let's just say top real estate agent in Miami, you're going to have the 4 ads, because that's a very competitive keyword or phrase. You're going to have the 4 ads at the top, and then you're going to have the map of the offices in the area, and then you're going to have the organic, and then at the bottom, you're going to have 3 more ads, again, because it's a very competitive search. So if it's a very competitive search or keyword, then you're going to have 7 ads at the front page, on the first page of Google, and then you're going to have the Google map, and you're going to have the organic. So again, when you search that, it's going to have 4 ads at the top, then the map, then the organic, and then 3 more ads. So that's how it's structured. Great questions. Great questions. All right, so Google Planner, absolutely leverage it for your business. Now, this one we keep falling into. And that is having a bad offer. Having a bad offer is something that you can absolutely overcome, and it's something that you can absolutely fix. So having a bad offer is something that a lot of us have. So we're providing or making an offer whenever we're running ads that just doesn't make sense or that people do not want. So if you're offering something like an ebook on Google ads, understand that that's not going to work. So if you're offering an ebook on how to buy a house, well, no, people are not going to click on your ad to get an ebook. That's just not going to work. So that's an offer that is very little value, because people can get a YouTube video and they don't have to read. They can watch a YouTube video, and in 3 minutes they're going to be as informed, if not more informed, than the ebook that you're providing. So people that are clicking on your Google ads, they want answers yesterday. They want those answers way before they even search for it. So if you're offering a free piece of education that is perceived to be extremely long and has a lot of work behind it, trust that ad is not going to work. So having an offer that nobody wants is a bad recipe. Not only from, you're not going to get that many opt-ins, but you're shooting yourself in the foot, because if you provide these offers out there, and let's just say people keep clicking on them because you're paying so much money to Google, people keep clicking on them, and then the moment that they find out what the actual offer is, they're going to bounce back. So that's going to mean that you're going to have a terrible bounce back rate. So this means that whenever somebody clicks on your ad and then see what you're offering and immediately come back to Google, then you're providing a bad user experience, and Google is going to penalize you for that. Because understand, whenever you're advertising, you're going into an auction, and Google's going to take into account how much you're willing to pay for that search to show up at the top. It's also going to take into consideration the user experience that you're providing. So when people go to your ad, they click on your ad, then they go to your website and they immediately come back, then Google's going to say, well, crap, this ad absolutely, maybe this ad's actually good, it was driving people to, however, they all come back. So I'm not gonna continue to let, if I was running the ads as an example, Google's gonna say, I'm not gonna continue to let you, Jaime, continue to run these ads because you're providing a bad user experience. As you know, and as we just talked about, Google is a primary search engine at this point. So if you're providing a bad experience, then you're encouraging the users to actually go to Yahoo or go to DuckDuckGo. So Google's not going to allow that. So what that means is, you as a user, you as an advertiser, your ads are going to be more expensive. And at some point, if you provide such a bad user experience, then your ads are just not going to run because Google sees them as garbage. So you're running into that issue a lot. So not only does the root cause is a bad offer at the end of the day, your ad could be good, but your offer just stinks. So take that into consideration. Not only are your ads going to be more expensive, that's bad enough in and of itself, but if you ultimately can't even get an ad to run, then you need to go to Facebook ads because at that point you have no business with Google ads. But that's a little bit of insight on getting a better offer and why it's so important to have it. $50,000 spend for Google to remarketing feature. Awesome. So Chuck, is that what it was? Good. So I wasn't too far off. It's been a while since I reached that. So it's I forget these things. So thank you for checking me. All right. So split testing. We absolutely want to do that with our ads because we're going to get to a lower cost at the end of the day. If you do split testing, like I've showed you how to do on this channel several different times, you will be driving down your cost. You may think that this ad that you launched that has no different variations, no different targeting, no different anything, you may think that it's performing incredibly well, but if you don't have anything to measure it against, then you don't know. It could, if you're getting a $5 lead, there could be a $3 lead out there. There could be a $10 lead, but you don't necessarily know. So having that split testing be a part of your protocol is extremely important. Every time that we enter a market, whether it's through my digital agency with the agents that we run ads for, we split test. Same thing for the agents that partner with me at EXP. We split test. So we go into every single market and do this split testing so we know, hey, this is a $5 lead, that's fantastic, but can we drive this lower? So it's a continual game, it's a continual process of getting the lower cost. But then we also have without going too much into the weeds, we also have different metrics that we look at on what the actual conversion is. So we're not only looking at, did we get this lead, but we're also looking at, did we get this lead to convert? So we're looking at the cost per click. We're looking at the cost per impressions, because both of those tell us something a little bit different. Then we also look at the cost per lead, which is what most people are aware of. But then we also look at cost per conversion. So that's how we start making meaningful decisions in our business, and having that understanding and awareness that we need to look for this information, but then also take action and track this information is completely different. So just because you know it doesn't mean that you're taking action on it. And just because you're taking action on it doesn't mean you're doing it right. So many different things to consider, but this is what we're talking. This is why we're talking about Google for real estate. This is why we're talking about Google for realtors. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them down below. We're about to sign off, but when it comes to the ads, when it comes to the paid strategies, the mistakes that I'm seeing out there, just a quick recap. One of them is not installing your Google tag. Please be sure that you install your Google tag. It's so important. The second mistake that we're seeing is the keyword planner. The keyword planner is a very good way for you to do research, not only from your paid standpoint, but also if you're a blogger, you see the traffic that's out there. If you're a YouTuber, you see what's being searched out on Google, because again, as I mentioned, Google owns YouTube, and YouTube will be indexed at the very top because it's owned by Google. So it makes sense. And then the third thing is having a bad offer. Having a bad offer not only will impact your conversions, the amount of people that give you their contact information, but also it could prohibit you from even running your ads at all, because you're providing such a bad user experience because nobody wants your offer. So that is something to be cognizant of. And then fourth, split testing. You absolutely want to split test. There's not enough split testing happening right now. So that's why you need to give yourself an appropriate budget. So just a general rule of thumb to give you an understanding of what I mean by budget. If you're running ads on Google Ads, so if you're running Google Ads, I suggest that at least give yourself $500 every single month for either 4 months or 6 months. That's just giving you a good indication of you want to run a marketing campaign long enough to see it work or see it fail, but also you want to dedicate enough per month so your ads can actually run, so you can get enough meaningful clicks, meaningful conversions, so you can actually make determinations of, hey, does this work? So if you're running Google Ads and only try to spend $100 and you get flustered because you got very few clicks and no leads, that's not enough data. That's not you did not have enough budget to split test. You did not have enough budget to make meaningful changes in your business that this type of advertising calls for. So just be aware of that. Alrighty. So on Facebook, we track conversion events, but what can we do with the results? So that's Facebook, but with Google, you can do the same thing. So you can track your conversions on Google. It's called a conversion there as well. And I've shown on this very channel how to create those and what can be done with the results. We'll run more of those ads. If you see that ad is converting, if you see that ad is giving you 50 conversions versus an ad that has 2 conversions, then why would you continue running this ad? So of course you would run the one that has more conversions. So this is looking at the data, meaningful data, and double down on that and try to continue getting that conversion, either get more of those conversions or reduce the cost per conversion. So that's how you use this information. So that's a little bit about that. Are you incorporating Parler and Rumble? Well, they're under attack. So right now I have a Rumble. I've uploaded on Rumble, but it's something that right now is pretty green. And as far as Parler, with Google attacking them, with Apple attacking them, with it was Apple, Google, and Amazon. So the 3 biggest companies in the freaking United States attacking Rumble. They're going to survive because they're redoing their infrastructure now. But at the end of the day, you have enough of these mega billion trillion dollar companies now attacking them. Comes with a little bit of a challenge. So right now, I'm not investing as much time with the Parlers and Rumbles of the world. because right now it's just it doesn't look great. I'm a big proponent of free speech, and before I get too political, I'll just leave it at that. I'm a big proponent of free speech. So yeah, that's what I think. Right now, I'm keeping a close eye on them. I've done a few things here and there with some posts, with a few videos uploaded on Rumble, but it's not something I'm going to invest too much time with right in the immediate future because of the uncertainty. So again, I'll just leave it at that because that can become very political. All right, well, hey, thank you so much for joining on today's live stream. We do these live streams on Mondays and Fridays at 9 a.m. Central. So make sure that you check out the topics that come up. We're always evolving and adapting. If you're watching this recording in the future, then let me know in the comment section what times work best for you, and make sure that you put time zones, because this is a world place, so it's a world marketplace. I have a lot of viewers from Australia, a lot of viewers from India, a lot of viewers from X, Y, and Z country, so I need time zones. So right now I am operating on 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and that's when we go live, both on Mondays and on Fridays. If you want to see a different time that's a little bit better for you to interact with me live, then just let me know in the comment section. Outside of that, make it a fantastic week. Have a great rest of Monday, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye.